So we're going to have a little sneak preview about what we're going to be talking about for the next few sessions of us working together. This might be a few weeks. This might take a couple of months. We'll see what happens. But I just wanted to show you some things that we might be talking about. This is called your self-advocacy booklet. And what that means is this is going to be a booklet all about your hearing. This is going to be how you hear in the classroom, what kind of equipment you use, whether that's hearing aids or a cochlear implant. And we're going to talk about your equipment in the classroom. So maybe that's a microphone for your teacher. I don't know. We'll have to find out. So this first page is something that you can get started on all by yourself. This is a page that you can color in and put your name down at the bottom where it says bye. You'll put your name right in there. And then we're going to scroll down to the next page and see what we have. This says, I have blank and a blank at school. So in the first part, on the first line, you're gonna put, do you wear hearing aids or do you have a cochlear implant? What do you use at school? And then the second line, you're gonna put, if you have a microphone in the classroom, maybe your teacher wears one around their neck, or maybe you have built-in speakers in your classroom, so it's all around the room so everyone can hear it. I don't know, we'll have to talk about that. Then on the next page, this is called a self-evaluation page. So this is when you're gonna look, you're gonna think about it. You're gonna think about these different areas. We have all these different things that we're gonna talk about. And you're gonna think, how do I feel about those things? Do I like it? That's the smiley face. Do I like this thing? Does it make me feel happy? Does it kind of make me feel, like I would call that a neutral face. So that means it doesn't make me feel happy, but it doesn't make me upset. It doesn't make me feel sad. I don't really care. That's that face. And then the next face is the frowny face. That's the I don't like it. It makes me frustrated, or it might make me sad. It's just, I don't like it. So we're going to go through each one of those. We're going to talk about my hearing equipment. Does that mean my hearing equipment? No, that means your hearing equipment. Does it make you happy? Do you like it? Are you just kind of, I don't care about it? Or does it make you feel sad? Does it make you feel frustrated and you don't like it? So we're going to go through my hearing equipment, my FM system, so my microphone in the classroom. We're going to talk about how do I feel about listening? How do I feel about reading? How do I feel about taking care of my equipment? How do I feel about my resources, the things that I have available to me in that moment? How do I feel about communication strategies? That's a pretty good term. We'll have to talk about that more later. How do I feel about speaking up? How do I feel about writing? And then we have some space to talk about maybe some other things that come up in the classroom that you want to talk about how you feel. So we'll go on down to the next page, which is where we will be talking about your cochlear implant. So we're going to talk about maybe the different parts of a cochlear implant, and we're going to write a little bit about it. How do you use it? What's a cochlear implant for? Why would somebody have it? So we're going to write a little paragraph about that right under it. And then on the next page, we're going to talk about your FM system. If this looks familiar, this is the microphone that your teacher uses in class. So we can talk about that. We're going to talk about the different parts of it, and we're going to talk about why your teacher uses it. We'll talk about why it's important for you. We'll move on down to the next one. Wow, that's a pretty colorful picture. It's got a lot of numbers and letters on it. This is called an audiogram. So this is what we're going to talk about, what your hearing looks like. So this is when you go into the booth at the audiologist, at the hearing doctor, and they test your hearing. And this shows us what you're hearing and maybe how your hearing aids or your cochlear implant might help you with that hearing. So we'll talk about that more later. And then we'll go down to the next page. This says anything the student adds. So that means you're going to have your own input. That means that you can add anything that you want your teachers to know about, anything that you want them to know about you, about your hearing, or maybe just some things that you like or don't like. Maybe we can add some stuff that you find helpful, that your teacher can help you with in the classroom. And then we're going to move on to the next page. How do I affix my equipment? That's a really good question. So we're going to talk about different areas that you can look at to fix your equipment. So if it's broken, if it's not working, if my battery is dead, how do I know it's dead? How do I change it? What does that look like? So those are some things that we're going to talk about a little bit more. And then on the next page, we have famous people with a hearing loss. So you are going to write the name of someone, a famous person who also has a hearing loss. And you're going to cut out and paste their picture. Paste. I wonder what that word means. That means glue. You're going to glue it on there. Or maybe you could use tape. That would work too. So you're going to put their name, their picture, and what did they do? Were they an actor? Were they a famous person in history? Were they a baseball player? I don't know. That's what we'll put in there. Then we'll move on down. Communication strategies. I remember hearing that term before when I was talking about something else earlier. Communication strategies. That's something that we're going to talk a lot about, is how we communicate with other people. How do we tell them what we're thinking about? How do we tell them how we feel? These are different strategies that we're going to talk about and that we can use. My go-to I statements. So these are sentences that start with I. This is how I feel about my hearing aids. Maybe I like using my hearing aids. They help me hear. Or I don't like using the microphone during PE because it's really loud. We're going to talk a lot more about I statements later. And then we have an emotion puzzle. So this is where we're going to talk about 3 different things. We're going to talk about the event. So what happened? Maybe my battery went dead in my hearing aid. How does that make you feel? I was frustrated because that means I couldn't hear. And then we're going to talk about the action. What's something you could do to fix the problem? I can tell my teacher that my battery's dead, and then I can change my battery. So we'll talk a lot more about that later. And here are some things that I can. So after we're all done with this, these are some things that you're going to be able to do. So I can put my hearing aid on. I can ask for clarification or repeats. That means I can ask my teacher. I can ask people if I don't understand what they're saying. I can use different hearing technology. These are all different things that you're going to be able to do. And maybe we can go through and color in which ones you can do already. We'll have to see. And these are different words. This is called a word bank. So this is where we have different terms, different words that we're going to use. Do you remember when I was talking about the cochlear implant and we had that picture? This is where we're going to cut out some of those words and we're going to paste them, or we're going to glue, or we can tape them on to the different parts of the cochlear implant. And then on the next part we have, this is a whole list of lots of different famous people. They're different famous people that have hearing loss. So do you remember I said they might be an actor? I see a lot of actors on here. They might be painters. Maybe they're fashion designers. We have people who are athletes. They do professional sports. So these are some people that we can pick out for our famous people section of your advocacy booklet. Let's see, is there anything else down here at the bottom that we have? I think that's it. So guys, we've come to the end of our booklet. So over the next few weeks, or maybe the next couple months, we're gonna keep talking about some of this stuff. But here's a sneak preview. So you guys are gonna go all the way back to the front page and write your name and color it in. Let's see if we can find it. So that's what you're gonna do first. Color in the first page and write your name. And I'll talk to you later. Bye guys.